Austin Russell, widely recognized as Chumlee from Pawn Stars, is currently behind bars. The atmosphere in the Las Vegas courtroom was heavy with tension as the judge delivered the final verdict. Overwhelmed by the outcome, Chumlee collapsed in disbelief, sending a wave of shock throughout the courtroom and leaving those in attendance stunned. The emotional intensity raised questions about what led to such a dramatic confrontation between the well-loved reality TV star and the legal system. This is the complete account of the explosive legal saga that brought him to this moment. If this story captivates you, don't forget to like, share it with your friends, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to subscribe for daily updates on the latest news and compelling stories. Chumlee has long been a standout personality on Pawn Stars, known for his sense of humor, laid-back attitude, and a genuine presence that added a unique charm to each episode. Over more than a decade, he has created countless memorable moments, one of the most iconic being when he traded his personal video games for a professional pinball machine, securing his legacy in television history. However, Chumlee's influence goes far beyond the screen. His presence significantly boosted the popularity of the gold and silver pawn shop, and his conscious efforts to build a personal brand marked his transformation from an everyday employee into a pop culture figure. From the beginning, his rise to fame was powered by his natural charisma, likability, and authenticity. Though often portrayed as comic relief, Chumlee defied expectations by mastering knowledge in niche collectibles, earning his spot as an indispensable part of the Pawn Stars team. His connection with fans, marked by sincerity and emotional depth, solidified his reputation as a breakout star. His reach extended well beyond television, with audiences across the country embracing his relatable personality. As his fame grew, so did his business ventures. He successfully launched a personal brand that included a candy and clothing line and various public appearances, generating significant wealth. That financial success later played a critical role in funding his defense during a legal battle that deeply impacted his fan base. As Pawn Stars continued to thrive, becoming one of cable's highest-rated shows with over 500 episodes and ongoing online streaming, Chumlee's journey began to diverge from the show's path. Despite their differing trajectories, both the series and Chumlee left an enduring mark, blending entertainment with authenticity and shaping the legacy of one of reality television's most iconic franchises. Pawn Stars evolved into one of the most educational and entertaining reality TV shows, gaining widespread acclaim. During this rise, Chumlee faced the complexities that often accompany fame. Audiences quickly connected with his cheerful and lovable presence on screen, and his appearances in public drew massive crowds, confirming that his appeal reached far beyond television. Yet behind the scenes, the growing divide between his public image and personal challenges created long-lasting tension. "I've lived two completely different lives," Chumlee shared. "Fame has a way of making you feel invincible. I was determined to enjoy every moment, especially when people recognized me everywhere I went." This pursuit of enjoyment led Chumlee to adopt a more extravagant lifestyle. While Pawn Stars remained focused on historical artifacts and skilled negotiations, Chumlee's personal life became increasingly lavish, complete with luxury cars, a mansion, and an extensive collection of sneakers and jewelry. His social media presence showcased his indulgent shopping habits, attracting millions of views and building a public persona that sharply contrasted with the modest beginnings fans once knew. By the mid-2010s, a distinct contrast had emerged between Chumlee's professional achievements and his personal extravagance. As both rose in prominence, Pawn Stars reached record-breaking viewership, with some special episodes drawing over 7 million viewers. Simultaneously, Chumlee expanded his brand with ventures like Chumlee's Candy Shop on Las Vegas Street and a successful line of behind-the-scenes merchandise. But as his success grew, so did the strain of fame, threatening the stability of his career. Chumlee often attributed his difficulties to the overwhelming shift from being a regular guy to a widely recognized celebrity. "Going from an ordinary guy to someone who couldn't go to Walmart without taking 500 photos drove me crazy," he admitted in a rare heartfelt interview. "I turned to things to help me cope. It nearly cost me everything." The personal turmoil he endured clashed heavily with the increasingly polished image of the show. By 2016, the separation between his on-screen charm and real-life issues had become too wide to ignore. While Pawn Stars continued to present him as the endearing character fans adored, his private life was unraveling in ways that would soon become public. Years of reckless decisions eventually led to serious consequences. In March 2016, police raided Chumlee's Las Vegas home in connection with a sexual assault investigation. "We executed a search warrant as part of an ongoing investigation," stated Officer Rodriguez during a press conference, a quote that quickly made headlines across entertainment media. However, what law enforcement discovered during the search resulted in additional charges unrelated to the initial case. The news spread rapidly, sparking debates about the future of both Chumlee and the show. Just a week later, TMZ released startling revelations. Multiple firearms, illegal substances, and drug-related paraphernalia were found in his home. This stark reality stood in dramatic contrast to the joyful and humble figure fans had come to admire on screen. A fan noted in a viral social media post that the situation had drastically changed how people perceive Chumlee. If stories like this interest you, make sure to subscribe so you never miss any of our videos. Don't forget to share them with your friends and family so you can uncover these unexpected tales together. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's your opinion on transforming oneself through plastic surgery? While watching the show, Chumlee never appeared to be someone facing such personal struggles. The stark difference between his public image and his private life seemed to be the breaking point. In the following weeks, prosecutors assembled a case and filed several felony charges against the reality TV star, including drug and firearm possession. If convicted on all counts, he faced a potential sentence of up to 20 years. These serious allegations threatened not just legal consequences, but also the public persona Chumlee had carefully built over the years. The legal battle sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, casting doubt on the future of Chumlee's career and financial stability. Analysts suggested it might signal the downfall of one of reality TV's most familiar faces. According to court documents, the investigation uncovered shocking details about what was found in Chumlee's home. Authorities reported discovering several types of firearms, including assault weapons, along with various drugs and related paraphernalia. In a notable twist, the search of Chumlee's residence was originally initiated due to allegations of sexual assault, although no charges were filed in connection with that accusation because of insufficient evidence. The investigation exposed a lifestyle that posed significant risks to public safety. A prosecution report advised the court to pursue the harshest penalties available, citing the volume and nature of the items uncovered. On the first day of trial, the courtroom was tense as Chumlee walked in. His face was solemn under the glare of camera flashes. None of his Pawn Stars co-stars were present, and the once-beloved TV personality now had to face the consequences of his actions. Your Honor, this case concerns grave violations of firearms and controlled substance laws, the prosecutor began, laying out the charges. The defendant's residence held an arsenal of weapons and a large quantity of illegal substances. The atmosphere grew more intense as images of the confiscated items were shown on a large screen. Chumlee kept his eyes on the ground, occasionally shaking his head as damaging evidence was reviewed. During questioning, Chumlee's lawyer asked, "Is it your testimony that Mr. Russell was operating a drug distribution network?" This challenged the implication that the quantity and variety of drugs were for more than just personal use. While the officer replied with confidence, he also acknowledged that investigators had not found packaging tools, scales, or distribution records typically linked to trafficking. The pressure in the courtroom increased further as testimony turned to the weapons. "Would you agree that Mr. Russell is a known collector of items, including historical firearms?" the defense asked. The weapons expert, Chumlee, responded that collecting requires both licensing and proper storage, adding yet another layer of complexity to the already high-stakes case. Chumlee looked visibly anxious, leaning in to whisper to his lawyer, as the judge reminded him to remain silent unless he was called to testify. Legal professionals took the stand to discuss sentencing guidelines, highlighting that such charges frequently result in harsh prison terms. Former attorney James Wilson pointed out that the involvement of both firearms and controlled substances made the case especially serious. The defense focused on Chumlee's previously clean record, arguing that his fame played a role in his lapse in judgment. They claimed his celebrity status blurred the line between normal behavior and excess. "My client was swept up in a lifestyle of indulgence that impaired his decision-making," his lawyer said, emphasizing that Chumlee never meant to cause harm and had otherwise maintained a positive public image. As the trial approached its conclusion, fans followed closely with growing worry. This was more than just a legal case. It marked a possible collapse of a widely adored TV personality known for his down-to-earth charm. Plea discussions became a major aspect of the trial, with both legal teams locked in tense negotiations. As talks progressed, it became clear that the outcome could extend far beyond Chumlee's personal freedom, with the looming threat of prison time adding weight to every decision. The case also raised concerns about his career, with projected financial losses in the millions, a damaged reputation, and an uncertain future on Pawn Stars. On the final day, the courtroom was filled with supporters, some waving signs, others dressed in Pawn Stars gear. Inside, anticipation ran high as Judge Michael Davidson took his place on the bench. Chumlee, having agreed to a plea deal in the state case, stood ready for sentencing. The judge began by reviewing the terms negotiated between the prosecution and defense, carefully weighing the aggravating and mitigating factors. The silence in the courtroom was so complete that even the sound of shuffling papers was noticeable. Chumlee stood with slightly trembling hands as he entered a guilty plea, one count related to firearms and another for a minor drug charge. The judge then stated that the other charges would be dropped under the agreement. Though his expression stayed tense, Chumlee listened as his attorneys exchanged cautious looks. The judge made it clear that despite the deal, the nature of the offenses raised serious public safety concerns, especially regarding illegal drugs and unregistered weapons. The sentence was pronounced: 3 years of probation, mandatory counseling, and regular drug testing. All confiscated items would be permanently seized. However, the most startling part of the sentence was yet to come. Any breach of his probation conditions would automatically trigger a 3-year prison term, no additional hearing required. With that, the court formally accepted the plea deal. The judge announced, "Mr. Russell, you are hereby sentenced to 3 years of probation under strict supervision. Any violation will result in immediate incarceration for 3 years. Do you truly understand these terms?" For Chumlee, the moment was devastating. After enduring months of emotional turmoil and the looming threat of spending decades behind bars, this point marked a major shift in his life. Rather than relief, a wave of realization washed over him. He had come dangerously close to losing everything. Now, his freedom depended entirely on strict compliance with the court's conditions. The weight of that truth hit him hard. His face turned pale, sweat beading on his forehead as the judge continued to outline the terms. One of the conditions included completing 200 hours of community service, but the judge's words began to blur, lost beneath a growing roar in Chumlee's ears. The room spun. His lawyer immediately sensed something was wrong, placing a steadying hand on Chumlee's arm. The attorney tried to calm him, but it was too late. The reality TV star known for bringing smiles to millions suddenly collapsed forward. Security rushed in as his labored breaths echoed through the silent courtroom. The man who once embodied carefree charm now lay unconscious, struck by a full-blown panic attack in front of the world. Medical staff quickly responded, calling out instructions while someone pushed through the crowd with water. Cameras flashed, capturing the chaos. The images dominated entertainment headlines around the globe. Chumlee, the beloved Pawn Stars figure, was now the center of a medical emergency on the courtroom floor, his legal struggles finally taking a physical toll. Outside, Rick Harrison was seen paying a brief visit to his friend and co-star. Fans gathered in clusters, stunned by the shocking turn of events. The courtroom collapse quickly became more talked about than the verdict itself, with social media and news outlets flooded by messages of concern. Hashtags like #ChumStrong and #PawnStarFamily trended online as fans offered their support and shared updates. 3 days later, still visibly shaken but wearing his familiar smile, Chumlee appeared in a video from home. "Facing the consequences of my actions seems to have triggered my anxiety," he said, attempting a bit of humor. "The doctor says I need to make better choices. I know he's right." This health scare appeared to shift something within Chumlee, reshaping how the public perceived him. Surprisingly, the History Channel stepped in with what appeared to be quiet support for his future on the show once he recovered, according to an unnamed source. The network viewed his legal troubles as a chance for a powerful redemption arc, though no official announcements were made and representatives declined to confirm anything specific. Chumlee's tone in his next statement was telling. "I let my reputation cloud my judgment. I made mistakes that could have cost me everything," he said, voice serious and reflective. "I'm grateful for this moment." He then looked into the camera and promised, "And I won't waste it." The entertainment world buzzed with speculation about his next move. What once looked like the end of his career had now become a pivotal moment. Viewers, especially those drawn to stories of redemption, connected deeply with his experience. Chumlee seemed more focused than ever, investing time in his legitimate business ventures and making sure to follow all court-mandated requirements. Social media stayed ablaze with support from fans eager to see him return to Pawn Stars, though no official return date was provided. When asked directly about his comeback, both Chumlee and the network remained vague. "Right now I'm focused on being healthy and making better decisions," he said thoughtfully. "The show has been like family for years, and I hope to make them proud again." What was once seen as a career-ending legal storm had instead become a personal reckoning. Interest in Pawn Stars remained strong, bolstered by fans who stood by Chumlee. For those who followed his rise from a behind-the-counter employee to a household name, this courtroom episode served as a harsh reminder of how fame can take a toll. His collapse wasn't just the image of a man under pressure. It marked the emergence of a more real, vulnerable public persona stepping out from behind the carefree facade. How do you think fame shapes the way someone handles their judgment and choices?